Hey, what's up everyone? John here from TestPrepInsight.com, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Rocket French program. I'll cover how the course is organized, what the daily lessons are like, pricing, and of course my honest thoughts. So if you stick with me to the end of this video, it should be everything you need to determine whether Rocket is the right program for you to learn French. So if you're ready, let's get to it. Okay, welcome back. So I just want to mention up front here that since I'll just be covering the major highlights and lowlights in this video today, if you find you need more detail at any point, you can always check out our full detailed written review over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight Rocket French Review. That's a quick way to find it. Alright, so to kick things off, let's quickly tackle pricing and how Rocket stacks up against their competitors. And they're a little different in that they actually offer lifetime plans as opposed to monthly or annual subscriptions. So at first glance, the Rocket French program is more expensive than competitors like Babbel, Busuu, and Pimsleur. So how it works is that the Rocket team actually breaks down their plans by learning level. The Level 1 package costs around $150, the Level 1 and 2 bundle costs around $300, and the big bundle with all 3 levels costs $450. However, what I'll say here is that you'll almost never pay that full price. And that's because Rocket is almost always running some sort of deal or special promotion. And I usually see their courses discounted by 40 to 60%, so be sure to check for coupon codes before buying. I'll actually do my best to keep the description below the video screen updated with the most current discounts and codes that might be out there, so make sure to check out that text below the video screen if Rocket does end up being the right fit for you. And on that point, by the way, if I could just say, we work really hard to produce honest and helpful content all totally free, so if Rocket does end up being the right choice for you, we'd really appreciate it if you'd use those links listed down below in the description. That's how you can support our channel, and it allows us to keep creating these types of helpful review videos. And if it turns out that Rocket isn't a great match for you, it's no problem at all. I just want to make sure that you get matched up with the right language app. We have a ton of other helpful reviews and comparisons that you can check out. Okay, so now that pricing is out of the way, let's talk about how the Rocket French program is structured and what their lessons are all about. So, as I alluded to just a minute ago, the Rocket French program is split into 3 overarching levels, essentially beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And these levels obviously get more complex and challenging as you progress from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. And then within each of these major levels, there are 7 different learning modules. And then within each learning module, there are 8 to 10 lessons, which each vary from one another. Rocket actually breaks their content down into 2 types of formats. Of the 8 to 10 lessons in each module, about half will be interactive audio lessons, and the other half will be language and culture lessons. And that's probably a good point to transition into what the actual lessons themselves are like. So let's start with those interactive audio lessons. These lessons form the backbone of the Rocket curriculum and frankly are what really differentiate Rocket from other popular language apps out there like Babbel, Duolingo, and Rosetta Stone. Every one of these lessons starts with a 20 to 30 minute audio lesson where a moderator speaking in English guides you through a conversation between 2 fluent French speakers. The moderator will start by explaining the context of the conversation that you're about to hear and what the goal of the lesson is. From there, as the conversation starts to progress, she'll frequently stop to explain what you just heard, provide vocab and grammar tips, and give you a quick chance to practice your pronunciation out loud. That's the one thing to keep in mind as you work these Rocket French audio lessons. You'll be asked to repeat words and phrases out loud and respond in tandem with the fluent speakers, so make sure that you can do these lessons in a place where you don't necessarily have to be quiet. Then, following the main audio lesson, you complete a series of exercises and drills designed to help reinforce what you just learned in the audio portion of the lesson. These include flashcards, pronunciation practice drills, sentence construction, audio recall exercises, and quizzes, as well as an opportunity to participate in a mock conversation and step into the shoes of one of the native speakers. And that's basically it for the interactive audio lessons. Each one takes around an hour to complete from start to finish and is very, very comprehensive. Then, the other lesson format are the company's language and culture lessons, which include detailed grammar instruction as well as cultural insights that you need to be aware of. You'll usually read through a few short digital explanations of the grammar rules being covered, practice with a few examples, and then finish with a short snippet on a cultural point. All in all, I'd say these language and culture lessons take about 20 to 30 minutes or so to complete, if that. And that's really it from a high level. Beyond those 2 types of lessons, there's really not too much to the program apart from the occasional expert tip and a few survival kits as they call them. And I know I covered that pretty quickly, so if you do want to see some examples of the Rocket lessons that I just covered, make sure to check out that full detailed written review that I mentioned earlier. I'll have it linked down below in the description. I have screenshots and more detail over there so you can get a better feel for what to expect. Okay, so now that I've covered pricing, how the Rocket program is structured, and what the lessons are like, let's get to the good part, what I like and what I don't like about Rocket French. And let's start with the things that I really like. And number 1 has to be the interactive audio lessons. These guided audio lessons are a game changer and really differentiate Rocket from all their competitors. Most other language learning apps, apart from maybe Pimsleur, focus on short lessons filled with quick hit drills and exercises. In other words, there's really no in-depth verbal or conversational practice. But with Rocket's audio lessons, you get that. You're actively involved in tracking the conversation and you need to respond at the proper times, which in my opinion is powerful at getting you to recall and use the language under pressure just like you would in real-life situations. That's the key point here. The Rocket French audio lessons simulate real-world experience, which honestly is about the best framework for truly learning a new language. Plus, it's awesome that Rocket allows you to reenact the conversation multiple times by taking the place of the other actors in the simulation, so you can get additional practice and gain a different perspective each time. Okay, number 2, and this somewhat relates back to my previous point. I think Rocket's lessons, curriculum, and overall learning framework are ideal for all learning levels. It doesn't matter whether you're just starting out or you already have a decent foundation. And I say that largely because of that conversational speaking component that I just covered. With other language companies out there like Memrise, Rosetta Stone, and Duolingo, for example, their lessons primarily center around vocabulary flashcards, quick hit drills, and repeating words and phrases independently. In other words, their lessons are somewhat basic. There's really no opportunity for spontaneous language usage that mimics or simulates full conversations like you get with Rocket. So key takeaway here is that with Rocket, you're not going to top out around the basic to intermediate level. You can ride their course until you reach an advanced stage. Alright, so next up, number 3. While other language learning companies like Rosetta Stone and Babbel use their own proprietary speech recognition systems, Rocket French actually uses Google's Web Speech API, which is one of the more advanced speech tools in the world. So, as you complete audio lessons and various reinforcement drills, the Rocket program records your voice and then uses Google to determine the accuracy of your pronunciation. You'll even receive a grade from 1 to 100 so you can closely track how you're performing as opposed to just a blanket correct or incorrect. Now, to be clear, no speech recognition technology out there is perfect. There will be times when the tech will give you a perfect grade and you actually mispronounced a word. But still, compared to other voice recognition software that I've tested, the Rocket/Google combo is definitely great and rates out as one of the best. Okay, number 4, and this is a quick one. Because roughly half of the Rocket French lessons are audio-based, I like that you can complete these lessons while you're exercising, cleaning your house, taking your dog for a walk, whatever. It's just nice that you don't have to be joined at the hip to your computer or phone screen at all times like you do with other language learning apps out there. Now, if you do plan on completing these lessons while you're doing other activities, you obviously won't be able to get that simultaneous benefit of reading the rolling transcript, but that's not always 100% necessary anyways. It's more so of a nice added benefit if you do happen to find yourself in front of your computer screen. Okay, so last up here, number 5. I appreciate that Rocket makes grammar content and instruction a priority within its curriculum. Most other language learning companies out there simply weave grammar into their main lessons or ignore it altogether. But with Rocket, that's not the case. They cover grammar in multiple ways. First, as you complete Rocket's audio lessons, the moderator routinely stops to touch on different grammar principles and verbally explain the rationale behind them. And then the bulk of the grammar instruction is delivered through the company's language and culture lessons, which I already covered earlier. So overall, I was just really impressed with the level of grammar and cultural insights that the Rocket courses provide, as well as how the company integrates this material into their lessons. Okay, so let's switch sides now to the things that I wasn't crazy about with Rocket French. But before I get to that, I do want to mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free language learning course to one lucky person. It's super simple to enter. Everyone out there is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description, but just know, it takes like 10 seconds to enter, and hey, you never know. You could win yourself a free pass to Rocket French. Alright, so first up here with the negatives. Since the Rocket French lessons do lean more towards the audio and text side in terms of format, they might not be the best option for visual learners. Besides the small number of images used in the language and culture lessons, there's really not a ton of graphics and visuals throughout the Rocket course, which might be an issue for some type of people out there. It really just boils down to how you learn best. Then number 2, while I am a big fan of the interactive audio lessons, there are a couple drawbacks. The first being that the lessons are somewhat lengthy. To complete a full lesson, I'm talking about both the audio portion and the reinforcement drills, it takes around an hour or so to complete from start to finish. Of course, you can always pause a lesson and return to it later if you don't have a full hour to complete one, but if you want to complete full lessons in a straight go and you're kind of limited on time, maybe you're just looking for quick hit 10 or 15-minute lessons, then Rocket might not be a great fit. And I have to admit that the Rocket audio lessons can become a touch boring at times. The moderator is somewhat monotone and there's no real humor or fun factor. It's just all business. Now don't get me wrong, they do a good job holding your attention with their frequent callouts, but I just felt like the audio lessons could use a little spice and personality every now and again. And that about does it for all of the detail in this review. So let's get to my final verdict. Is Rocket a good choice to learn French? Well, the short answer to this question is yes. Frankly, I think Rocket's courses may be the most comprehensive French program from top to bottom that our team has tested. It just checks all of the major boxes. Engaging audio lessons that really help develop your listening comprehension and verbal skills, diverse practice exercises, detailed grammar instruction, accurate speech recognition technology. The list goes on and on. Sure, I do have a few minor grievances, and yes, the program is a little pricey, but if you're serious about learning French and reaching an intermediate to advanced level fluency, then I think Rocket French is an excellent option. And that's all I've got for you. I hope this video has been helpful and you learned a little something. If so, make sure to return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and dropping us a quick comment below. That'd really be appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full detailed written review that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website, testprepinsight.com, or check out the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel. We have a ton of great content out there. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one.